Well, hello there, friends and reptile lovers. Thanks for joining me for another video. You might notice, I'm going to point it out so you're not questioning, but the angle looks a little different because, like a bonehead, I knocked my tripod over as I was setting up and broke it. And so now I don't have a way for that to hold the camera. But thankfully I have a backup, but it is different and I kind of have to finagle some things to get this shot. But the show must go on, so we will move forward. I just hope that the different angle doesn't have the lights reflecting off my dome and blinding you guys. I don't think it is. But anyway, let's get a little more serious about baby ball pythons. Clutch 5 of 2025 has all shed out. This is our piebald clutch that we highlighted a couple weeks ago, and it is time for us to see what they look like with their new skin on for the first time. So, as a reminder, this was a banana leopard pied, bred to a het pied, and so now we've got all these babies. There is a 50% chance of being het VPI exanthic, but if you watch the other video, you know that I bred this male to a visual VPI a couple years in a row and have gotten no exanthics, at least not that I could determine, and so I question whether he is in fact 50% possible, or if he is in fact het VPI exanthic. So when I label these babies for sale, I will not advertise them as het VPI or possible het VPI. I will just label them according to the known genes, and if by some chance it gets in there somewhere down the line, maybe somebody gets a bonus like I did on that video that started this channel 2 years ago. If you haven't seen it, check out the first video ever posted. It was really, really poorly done, but absolutely amazing and our most popular video to date. Check it out. But anyway, without me rambling on too much more, I know you guys like the updates of the babies once they've shed out to get that first look at them. Hopefully they're nice and calm and not feisty, and we'll get them set up. I've got all their individual tubs already set up in the rack with fresh water and substrate. We're just going to take a look at them, and then we'll get them into their individual tubs. Hope you enjoy the show. Let's get into it. All right, well, here we go with Clutch 5. It's a little gross in there, but we'll try and get them out one at a time. Look at this beautiful leopard baby. Now, because this is a banana gene and the dad from the clutch is a male maker, all of the babies that have that do not carry the banana gene should be female, and all the ones that do have the banana gene should be male. It doesn't always follow that 100%, but it's pretty close. As I'm setting up here, I can see that at least one baby back here has not shed yet. I think that was the one that kind of hung out a little bit longer than the rest. But anyway, so beautiful leopard. Let me just see. Yep, female. And you can see a leopard has a wild type coloration, but has much more of an elongated, spotted type pattern, and will actually get darker as it ages. Seeing, I believe, let's see. No, that's also leopard. So here's another leopard. It's a little bit lower expression, I think. But again, you can just tell in the pattern. There's less alien heads. It's more broken up, and it just looks kind of leopard-like. Leopards also tend to have like this a little, I don't know if you can see it real well, a little bit of a faded, almost circular pattern around their skull with a darker spot in the middle. Let's see if this is a girl too, I'm sure. And it is. And of course, all these babies will be het pied. So we've got two female leopards here. We'll go ahead and put them up. Y'all can be number 5 and 6, assuming we follow the pattern. All right. And yeah, this poor old girl back here is wrinkly. We'll do our non-pieds first. We'll save the pieds for last. All right. Again, here is another leopard. Great coloration. You will see with leopard over most wild types. Now, there's a lot of variation with wild types, so I can't say this dogmatically, but you kind of get lightening along the bottom, and you'll start to get some bleed of blushing up through the saddle sometimes. And of course, again, this one is not showing the head pattern real strong, but I can see it faintly. I just don't know if it'll come through on the camera, especially with these bright overhead lights. Yep. Okay. A little bit of stuck skin right there, but it is a female, as should be, as expected. Now that one doesn't have the het pied markers, but not all het pieds have markers. I see little buddy is trying to explore. Hey there, Munchkin. All right, so now we'll move to our bananas. Banana. So these are our two bananas. Now, we got one of each representation here. So, can you tell which is which? I bet you can. So this is a banana, of course, het pied. Their heads typically tend to be pretty blushed out when they're young, and they'll lose that blushing as they get a few sheds. They'll also start to develop black spots. So if you've ever seen a baby banana, sometimes they'll develop 1 or 2 black spots, and people will mistake it for something crazy like mites, because everybody's kind of paranoid about getting mites or having a snake with mites. So these will fool you. They'll have a speck, and you'll start to rub it off. It's normal with bananas. They actually develop spots as they age, and that's where they kind of got the name from, because, you know, like when a banana piece of fruit gets too ripe, it starts to get black spots, and it gets black spots, and it gets black spots until the whole thing's black. They don't go all the way, but they'll develop spots consistently as they grow and as they shed out. Each time, usually not right away, but once it starts, you'll get a few more black spots with each shed. And he's not cooperating real well, but I can see that blood vessel there, if it's coming through, is the indication of his hem. Oh, you went over and under the legs of the new tripod. All right, so bear with me as I try and free this little joker. Just admire the pretty one in the background. And that one that you're looking at now is the same gene, just added leopard on top of it. I know it's not the first time we've talked about leopard, banana leopard this year. But if you notice, look at the much more distinct head pattern, whereas that banana was just kind of blushed and kind of a purplish, a lavenderish color all throughout. This one has that little blush circle with the dot in the middle. A lot of bananas will have a yellow spot at the back of their base of their head, but this one's got that very distinct pattern. That is a leopard trait. That's what I was trying to show you on those regular or normal leopards, but you couldn't quite see it that well with how dark their head is and the lights in this room. But again, now you can see just how much more busy and broken up the pattern is. And this one actually has quite a few alien heads, but there's more spotting, not as many solid alien heads. And the purples become richer. Okay, you're trying to get, I understand why you don't want me to do what I'm doing. The purples get richer a little bit. And leopard, actually, in my opinion, adding leopard, that's a male, will actually cause this snake to get a little bit better as it ages. It'll age, what I'm trying to say is it will age better than a standard banana. Again, that's my opinion. It really depends on your preference. Some people don't like banana spotting. Some people absolutely love it and think it's the greatest thing ever. So it kind of depends on where you fall in that. But the leopard will actually keep the colors a little more vibrant and will prevent, it will cause it not to get as much spotting. So really, again, personal preference depends on where you fall on there. But this little munchkin is a piebald. It's a standard piebald. I don't believe there's any leopard in there. But that can be really tricky sometimes to tell in a pied. But just a great mix of pattern, white. So a lot of people really like that kind of even break. So maybe I would put this one maybe 60-40, 60% pattern, 40% white. But what a beautiful little lady. Can I check you? I know this is not pleasant. I apologize if you see any squirting that occurs like that. Almost got me. A little bit of shed that's left there, but that is a little girl, as we expected. Ain't she pretty? What would you name her? Tell me in the comments if that was your snake to name, and she could be, what would you name her? Play a fun little game here. All right, we got number 2. Now, I believe this is a leopard pied. Not a whole lot different from the last one. I probably should have kept her out, but There's more color variation. There's more contrast along the dorsal. But if you look at this head, you'll see complete stripes that meet at the base of the skull. If you go back and look at the previous one, she didn't have that. It was broken up. And that can be a key indicator for leopard in a piebald, is a more distinct head striping. But again, this one's probably 70-30 pattern to white, which is a pretty good mix. Some people really like the almost no white pieds. Some like high white pieds. And I've been sorry about that. Didn't mean to give you an up close and personal look at that. But I've kind of been on the fence in that I really have always liked high white pieds. Like, that's always been my preference. But the longer I've worked with and bred these things, the more I kind of lean towards the even mix. So here you can see now she's wrinkly. She has not shed yet, which is fine. It's kind of messy in here and it's starting to stink. So I'm going to go ahead and move them anyway. And I'll put her in her own little well-moistened tub, and she'll have a chance to shed in there. Happens from time to time. Some of them are just a couple days behind, but that's fine. So she looks dehydrated and wrinkly and kind of sorry baby, I don't mean that personally. That's just because she's so close to shedding and hadn't shed yet. In a day or two, once she sheds, she'll look bright and pretty like the others, and it'll look like her skin fits again. I think I moved my camera when they were wrapping it up, but this is, I'm pretty sure, just a regular pied. I'm not going to pop her because she's so close to shedding. I don't want to mess with that, but I'm pretty confident that that she does have, she's just a standard pied and is female. Sorry, switching a couple around here, get them in the right place. And I'm actually going to turn. So one of my, I know y'all can't see this, but one of my strategies when these babies go into shed and I keep them in these tubs, once they go into shed, I don't like to add water to the substrate if I don't need to. So I'll just swap it around and put it in the rack this way. So the water cup is closer to the heat. It will evaporate faster and increase the humidity in the tub. And most of the time, if I do that, I don't need to add any water at all to get them a nice, full, complete shed. I can do that in any of my racks, regardless of the size of the tub. So anyway, just a tip while we're going. Now, this, of course, is what I would consider the star of the show, our last baby here. This is a banana leopard pied, and he is gorgeous. Look at the colors, the way they pop, the contrast between the purple and the orange. That leopard is really creating a little bit more blushing on the sides and some pixelation. And again, just like with the standard, without the piebald gene, that leopard with this banana is going to help him keep his colors a little bit better long term, more richness in the oranges and the purples, and of course a little less freckling, which even the pieds reduces that too, but even them, they usually will get some, but to a much lesser extent. And I'm pretty sure, I can't really get him to express, but I see the evidence of him being a male. So I'm not going to push it too hard because he's moving around a lot. But what a beautiful dude. Ain't he awesome? All right, well, there we go. Wasn't that great? It's always great to see them when they shed for the first time. That one little baby is just a day or two behind, but she'll be caught up in no time. And then I'll be ready to offer them their first meal in about 10 days. I usually like to wait 10 to 14 days after they have their first shed before I offer food so that they're nice and hungry. And that may seem odd to some folks, but they have plenty of nutrients stored up from their egg to sustain them well beyond that. But the more important thing for me is to get them to eat that first meal. So far this season, this has been great. Every baby that we've offered its first meal has taken that meal on the first time. Even there were some babies in the last clutch that I was concerned might not be able to eat or might not be willing to eat because of some birth defects. But they all took it. So we're off to a great start. There's usually one or two or a few that'll lag behind, and they may take an extra week or two to eat. And that's typically perfectly fine. But Ball pythons are kind of creatures of habit. So in my experience, I like to let them get hungry so they're less likely to refuse that first time, because I find that if they take it the first time, they're more likely to take it second, third, fourth, etc., and get thriving and ready to go to their new homes and do really well for their forever owner. All of the babies you saw today will at some point, once they're sufficiently fed and have established that habit of feeding properly, they will be ready to go to a new home. So if you see anything you're interested in, please let me know and maybe we can work something out. Anyway, I guess that's about it for today. Thank you for making it possible for me to share these updates with you. Thanks for watching. Please continue to like and comment on the videos. I do like reading your comments. Share with a friend, subscribe if you haven't, and let's grow this thing so that at 5,000 subscribers, I can do a cool giveaway. Anyway, thank you so much. As always, let me remind you to share the love of reptiles with anybody you can, and I'll see you guys next time.